All right.
have a quick look at the skins.
Wait, hold on. Alex looking fab.
Yeah. They changed it from the concept art. Like it looks kind of better. Like no cap, his sword and shuriken animations look really good. I was actually considering getting it because it feels like they've actually, if they got feedback, they listened to it because it looks better than when they initially teased it.
You know, honestly though, the only thing I really don't like is the color scheme is very similar to his current skin already. So
Agreed.
I'm just not quite a fan of that. But other than that though, I haven't quite seen the other stuff. I don't really play Alex very much either, but we'll have to see how it looks like then.
All right.
What do we got here? Oh my
Barbara
gosh.
looks fabulous. Look
Yeah,
at her.
Too bad her character is dog shit.
Oh. Well, she do kind of look iced out here. I really like this look.
I agree. I think she looks really good. I just don't think I'll be getting it because of the balance state of her character.
You're crazy.
I wouldn't waste skin on a skin I wouldn't use unless it's Shoichi, because we all know how that went.
Anime girl with glasses, Brand? Come on.
Look
It's
at
a
the
no-brainer.
Fiora emotes are so cute.
Actually, wait, they kind of are. I thought the Emma ones are the best ones they've released. I like this fourth Fiora skin, or Fiora emote.
The Yawn Fiora looks good too. Imagine you're like waiting to get into combat.
I like the yawn one.
This is Fiora mains, by the way, after the patch, when we get to Fiora changes.
Yeah, that's a Fiora after being kited by a Rio.
Alright, voice chat's in the game. I'm ready for it.
Voice comms. Imagine playing with randos.
That's the only thing this affects, in my opinion, because everyone has Discord.
So this setting is instantly off in my
Yeah, the
in my
default
game.
settings are set to off.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to it. I just if we ever don't have a third, I kind of just want to play squads just to talk with random people, just to see what the community's like. The community's so nice. Like honestly, like there's some really rude in-game things to do, but everyone I've talked to, minus one person that I'm thinking of specifically that I won't name, are actually really nice people. They're super nice, and then there's like also like a lot of simps, but like being a simp doesn't make you toxic. You know what I mean? Like the community is really nice.
We call them shrimps here. We don't call them that.
Yeah, you can't say that.
Can't say that word.
You can't say that on stream.
Oh, they're simps. All right, moving on.
Oh no.
Meta improvements. They say that they're changing the speed up boosts around the map in order to resolve people staying alive later than they should. So they're working on the late game, looking at some. I forgot where it's at. I've read over this. They're basically looking at XP later in the game for people who just farm wild monsters to not get so much experience from basically not interacting with other players is what they're looking at. But then for interacting with other players, they're also reducing the radius of which you could see pings on the minimap. Something I didn't even know until looking at the patch notes. So when you do combat, the pings show up 40 meters away normally. Now they're reducing it to 35. But there's a separate ping system in game for firearm type weapons. So I'm guessing, pistols, sniper rifles, and assault rifles. Apparently they make pings from a lot further away, which I didn't know that. But they're also reducing that. But it's still double the normal ping radius.
Well, I'm kind of glad too though that now we're gonna be able to fight more often and we'll just be running away town.
Yeah,
and also, like, if you're fighting someone else, like, if someone's from far away in the area, at least they won't see you fighting someone else and try to just come third party and steal your kill that you worked really hard for.
I will say, now that I know this exists, I don't like that guns make a louder ping than others. I wish it was consistent across the board, because it's something that, like, we've played this game for so long. Something like this, being in the game and not even knowing it, I feel like it should just be consistent. Like, why, like, I'm assuming that pings for combat are the same across the board. Like, why is it different? Why is this something I need to know?
Guns would make louder noises.
I get it thematically. It's so dumb. Like, why is it not
Guns
just consistent?
make louder noises. Imagine a whip.
She makes a good point, Brian. I don't know what to tell you.
A gun makes loud noises.
Gun go bang.
Gun go bang bang.
Bang
Bang
bang.
bang.
All right, so now this hurts my soul. So the mastery you get from crafting, it used to, well, it still does, increases the effectiveness of the items you've made. So if you make a 100 HP item and you get like 10% extra crafting effectiveness from your mastery, you would get an extra 10 HP from the item, just from crafting a lot of items. They're basically reducing the bonus effects you get from crafting a lot of things.
Sounds like they're trying to get rid of the people who just AFK and Like play PvE, you know, go farm
I
around
I
the
think
map,
it's
cook, craft materials,
yeah, I think it's more so that
encourage
a lot of
fighting.
people are crafting. There's a lot of meteorites in the game. There's a lot of trees now. A lot of people are crafting gold items like pretty early too. Um, so I feel like maybe that's why, because you're crafting a lot more uh items because you have a lot more options in the game.
I agree. Yeah, there's a lot more crafting in the game, so they're trying to tone it back. All right, and then defense mastery. I honestly don't care about defense mastery because it feels like it's irrelevant. Animal XP. We mentioned this before. They're reducing the amount of XP you get from farming animals later in the game, but they're also increasing a little bit of the amount of XP you get for killing Alpha and or Omega,
Oh, thank goodness.
which I think is good considering like if you're going for an objective, you should get more XP for killing these things than you should a dog. Like
Yeah,
look
I
at this.
agree.
Omega gave you the same XP as a dog. Like it still
Should've
almost
just
does.
gone and killed 2 dogs.
Yeah, like it almost still gives the same XP as killing a dog. Like obviously the dogs are a lot lower level. Like you'll run into like a level 5 dog and
They're
it's like a
easier to
level
kill.
like 11 Omega or something. But yeah, I think this is ridiculous. But also you don't want to give it too much XP to where it snowballs out of control just because you hold an objective. Some LP changes. I honestly don't care. Basically, it punishes you less for going out at a lower place.
Wait, hold on, go back up because I do see they actually listed squads there though. So does that mean that we get squads, ranked squads?
Waiting.
Oh, I
Waiting
see.
for
Oh,
that.
I see what you're saying. No, NA does not get ranked squads. Of course not. Are you kidding me?
Okay, well,
And-
I
Mini
tried.
Squads is dead.
I tried. Nibble Neuron, please.
The hyperloop
I
improvement
understand,
is
but
really
please.
cool, by the way.
Yes. Yeah, so now you can
I like
tell.
this.
Now instead of throwing an ability at someone who TPs in front of you, not really,
That's your
and it's
teammate.
an ally. Yeah, this should no longer happen because it's now a green circle when it's an ally, and it's a red when it's an enemy. The only yellow hyperloops you'll ever see are when neutral monsters are spawning, like Alpha and Omega, I believe.
Hold on, I have a problem with the graphic they decided to show. It looks like someone's teleporting right next to a wall next to a Hyunwoo,
And he's not wanting to slam.
and he's not wanting to slam him into the wall. Are you kidding me?
It's his teammate. It's his teammate.
No, no.
But he doesn't know
The
that.
enemy
Come
one.
on.
The enemy one. I'm talking about the
Yeah,
enemy
yeah.
one.
Oh,
In the bottom
oh,
right.
oh, this
Oh,
one.
yeah, the bottom one.
It's like, oh, it's red. It must be, yeah, time to run away. No.
Let me run away. No,
Oh, no.
that's
No.
not what you do.
You
You
eat them
see
into the
wall,
wall, you
you eat.
beat them up, and then you run away. You take the mastery.
You
Exactly.
stun them, and then you beat them up, and you run quickly away before they can catch up to you.
Some extra hotkeys for quick crafting. So I think I used the tilde, right? It auto crafts whatever's on the left. Apparently, you can like craft based on the slot that the item is in, which I probably still won't use. If it's a food item I want to craft, I usually just click on it. I think
I usually
foods
click
is the
too.
only stuff that doesn't auto craft with the tilde because it's not in your build. But yeah, I guess cool for people who want to use these. But yeah, it's not gonna affect my gameplay. I don't know about you guys.
Nope.
I just call that a squiggly, by the way. The fact that it's called a tilde tilts me. I don't understand why it's called a tilde.
Not gonna lie to
it's
you.
a squig.
I couldn't even spell tilde if you asked me.
Yeah.
I could take a shot at it just because of how it sounds, but
I imagine it's TILDA.
that's
but
what I
like
would
it's
guess
probably
too.
not.
Yeah.
Right? It's a squiggly.
All right. I'm really glad they're doing this, by the way, because this really helps when new players come in the game with how frequently they're adding characters, because it's literally every 2 weeks. But yeah, they're reducing character price reduction or character prices for some of the older characters. So like Nadine, normally all the characters have been set to like 8K of the in-game currency. But yeah, they've been reducing some of the older characters down to like 5K. And of course, they gave you Aya and Jackie for free as a new player. Which, by the way, great characters to give new players. You guys want to touch on that real quick? Do you guys like that they gave Aya and Jackie to to new players for free?
I agree. I think it's really good to have Jackie and Aya for free. They're easier. They're slightly easier characters and more forgiving characters. I feel like. I know that right now the tutorial has Yuki and Heijin, but I feel like their kits are flashy, but Jackie and Aya are easier to play.
I
The
don't-
Jackie Aya A1 picks. You got your range. You got your melee. I think clean. Yep.
Yeah, both characters have 3 weapons. Technically, Jackie has 4 with dual sword, but yeah, really nice variety there. And then I think it'd be cool. I don't know if they have this already, but if they added a thing where it's like after you play like your first like online game or whatever, like you can also pick like a free character between like they give you like 5 to look at. Because I know a lot of people love Yuki. You know, I think that'd be just so cool if people could like pick Yuki as a character and like not have to save up for him. They just like let's say they see like a montage with the game, right? Like I want to play this game because that character looks super cool. If they gave him a list of like 5 characters to pick from after like a PvP game, just to like pick one, I think that'd be super cool.
Oh, this is a theoretical thing.
Yeah,
I thought you were saying this was already in the game. I was going to say that's so cool. Yeah, no, I think that'd be great. Like just pick your favorite, pick your protagonist, and then you can go play him for free, and then it gets people more into the game, especially when they have options.
Yeah, because yeah. Anyways,
right now I'm just sitting on my mountainous throne of Acoin, by the way, looking down upon those who don't have.
Yeah, I don't know what it's like for people to not own every character. Nathan Pone. Okay, so now we're on to character balance changes. Camera Boy is getting some extra flat HP and some HP per level.
Shout out to Christian, by the way.
Shout out for Nathan Pone. I thought
the Acoin situation.
Oh. The Nathan Pone, I will say, is the resident camera boy here. He doesn't need this change. I would say the best change you could ever make to this character is give him either a 4-score or not a VF blood sample because he won't use lifesteal, but you need to give him a 4-score camera for the game.
I think Nathan Pond has really strong base attack already. At level 1, Nathan Pond actually hurts. Like, hurts.
Yeah, it's from his passive. His passive gives him 40 raw damage on hit, which scales up to 120 at level 9. Because 40
Does
120.
Does anyone build his Enad pistol at all, or I don't?
That's who killed you, Jake. When
when
your game messed up, he was going Enad.
Oh yeah. When I was like AFK.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's garbage. But yeah, no, people build it, and then they never I've never seen them win with it. I'll say.
Oh, I think he just needs better weapons in general.
Yeah, they need. Yeah, Nathan Pone needs to be allowed to crit on his auto attacks, and then that will make some of his other. Honestly, just making it to where he could crit will make his other cameras just innately better.
Oh, could you imagine like a Rage Blade situation with him, like a Rage Blade passive on one of these
So he has fixed attack speed. Giving him more attack speed doesn't increase his damage, doesn't increase his attack speed. It gives him extra on hit damage from his passive, but the scaling is completely awful.
Right. The Rage Blade is like the double attacks though. Like you basically
like
attack 2 attacks in 1. Yeah. So I don't know. It would work well with some of his abilities.
I hope they never add that effect to this game. Honestly,
really,
it's hard to balance around.
Yeah.
There'll be cool things I think maybe later on. Right now, it's far too early to add that to the game. Nikki, some extra attack power per level. Apparently, they don't think she's doing very well late game. I will say I'm seeing more and more Nikkis, and I'm seeing them do pretty well. They actually frontline and disrupt quite strongly, especially when someone in your team attacks her while she's praying. She's actually really disruptive with that root, the AoE root for 1 second. And she just kind of pounds on people.
She's got HP to spare. She's got plenty of lockdown CC. She's got plenty of heal for squads and duos. She's got a really good kit for squads and duos. Solos, I think she falls off a bit for sure.
I would argue that she's the best Gov character in the game, followed by Jan. That would be an argument I would make.
I feel like Jan has an edge on her right now just because how strong Jan is.
I feel like Nikki's better because she can handle range and melee.
Right. Nikki, I definitely would put Nikki in tiers above Hanwoo, like Glove Hanwoo. And I feel like I honestly think Jan just has a little bit of edge on Nikki.
Yeah, so out of the glove characters, we have what? We have Hyunwoo, we have Leon, we have Jan, we have Nikki, and Lead Island. I think that's it, right?
Yes.
Five glove characters. So, yeah, she's probably strong. I would say she's probably the strongest. I don't think Jan is stronger than her.
I think Jan would beat Nikki in a 1v1, but I think Nikki has a much better...
more tools.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got more wrenches in her tool bag. Get it.
All right, Daniel. This character is garbage. Let's see what they do. Higher base attack speed, which will always mean that percent attack speed items will just do better on him from before because it's all based on base attack speed. That's all cool. Q is no longer a flat 12-second cooldown. It now scales from 14 to 10. Don't think this matters, honestly. It just means his Q has more uptime, I guess, in a fight later on. W. The stored damage. It's basically the proc when you proc it. Instead of doing 20% of the damage you dealt during that time period, it's 22%. It still starts at the same. That 2% doesn't matter. Can now be inspired by characters that are immune to debuffs. However, the mark explosion will not deal damage to target is immune to debuffs or targetable. Immune to debuffs, is that just like Tonfa, Prairie, and like Hyunwoo W? I don't really know. I don't immune to debuffs. I'm not sure. Like Sua W?
Jenny passive.
Debuff like Sua. Yeah, I was looking at Sua W.
Jenny passive. When she's dead.
So, like, maybe this mark was doing damage to people that were immune to debuffs before and no longer is, so it's almost actually kind of a nerf. But yeah, just adding 2% of the damage, yeah, that doesn't change anything. And his ult has a lower cooldown.
Ooh, way down, too. I think 20 seconds less on a cooldown is quite a bit.
I don't think this... He needs more damage, not a lower... He doesn't need his ult to be up more, he needs more damage so that he has a better shot at killing who he's trying to kill. Because it feels like he blows his combo and he gets you down to... If I'm being generous, he gets you down to about 30% HP. Sometimes he only gets you down to like 60%
Half?
HP. Yeah.
I was gonna say half.
I'm being
maybe,
generous. He
lucky.
can get you down to like
I
30%
was like,
HP.
half? His full combo gets you to half.
So having your ult up again doesn't change the fact that you didn't kill your target. Like, I'm not saying it should be Zed guaranteed, like, one-shot the guy you're going for. But, like, he needs more damage. Not a lower cooldown. Yeah, so this character is probably still awful. That's my opinion on it.
I like how they take shots. They take shots at the Daniel players in the patch notes.
Oh, do they? Daniel's strength is still hiding in the shadows even after the players have started to figure him out. This should help him out. You know,
Yeah, read the
players,
last sentence.
This should help him out.
No. At the last I'm sorry, the last bullet point. Read it.
Last bullet point. There is now a short cooldown between the first and second hit for all the bed measure. Oh, I've done this. You ult and then you immediately come out on accident. I've done that before.
You just
But like that's on me, right? That's not on the character.
Yeah.
That's a user error.
Yeah. I mean, this is fine. This is for like newer players. I get it. But even when played properly, I don't think he does that much damage.
True.
He feels like, if I were to compare him to Shoichi, they feel about the same in power. Whereas Shoichi is more mobile and this guy does a slightly more damage. Like, this guy's biggest strength is he can become untargetable with his ult. Whereas Shoichi's biggest strength is his mobility. Like, they both feel just kind of weak. Yeah, so Razi, this character is actually pretty good. Let's see. Razi is strange. That's an interesting statement. I don't think she's strange. I guess that's why they call her the Enigma. Okay, Aesop, relax. She is pretty consistent, because, you know, Aesop translates all these.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We love you, by the way, Aesop.
She's pretty consistently outdueling other characters in situations where it should be more of a 50-50. Kind of disagree. I feel like dueling is her strong point. I feel like she should win most fights. Maybe not. Maybe that's rude. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. I feel like Razi's like.
I feel like she is a duelist.
Yeah. If she's auto attacking perfectly, I feel like she should be winning. Anyways, this should help bring her back in line a bit. So what do they do? 2 less HP per level, which is 40 at level 20. So she loses like 40 max HP. Defense per level. What's this?
Oh, that hurts.
6. Well, it's only 6 defense at level 20. So we're losing 40 HP, 6 defense in a perfect situation. Her W doesn't reduce healing as much. I think that's fine. And then her E cooldown is up by 2 seconds at level... whatever. Call me crazy. I'm accessibility last, but I'm not a Razi player.
Yeah, so this is obviously a nerf, right? But, like, am I, like, actually, like...
Worried?
I'm glad they didn't touch her damage, to be honest.
Yeah. I don't care. Like, this is, like... It kind of feels like, ooh, you did something bad. Here's a slap on the wrist, you know?
Like,
that's what
I like how they hit healing reduction. If they think she's winning duels against sustained characters,
yeah.
like, I'm glad that this is how they went instead of hitting damage.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's why I said, like, yeah, because I can bring White Rhinos to the fight. I can, you know, I can take other healing reduction items. There's definitely more healing reduction in the game now, so many more options for that. But yeah, no, I honestly I'm fine with this. Like as a Rozzy player, I'm completely fine with this. I don't feel like they gutted my character or anything like that. I think they did this in the right way.
All right, Dylan, this character is complete trash. All right, what do they do? Increasing her base attack speed. Wait, they hold on. 0.1 from so that's 0.03, but they only gave Daniel 0.02. All right, I respect it. As a Dylan player, I'm glad we got a better treatment than Daniel. And then her ult going up 15 damage at all ranks, push 5%. Okay, this is really good. I'm already calling it. Dylan is back. This is actually all she needed. This is all she needed. I'm calling it now. I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to explain as someone who doesn't play Dylan, like to understand like what this changes. But attack speed scaling, getting just more auto attacks off, and spending less time just standing there, is so nice. It also means your second proc from your passive comes out faster because you know how you get the double hit is like it's basically a Rozzy, right? Is after using a spell. Yeah. As long as you're managing your passive properly, you get like the double hit. Yeah, but like the attack speed also means the double hit comes out faster. Like this is so nice. And then the ult, like getting like the 15 at like level 16 doesn't actually change a lot, but this changes a lot at level 6. Like this changes a lot at level 6, getting this much extra damage per hit. So I'm calling it now. Dylan is back, and I will say no more. All right, Rio. I heard about this thing on the roadmap. Let's see what they said. Fleeting Soul, which is her short bow R, will be split into 2 attacks. First attack will fire multiple arrows, which is the 3-shot thing. Reactivate to fire an arrow that knocks back enemies. So there's only there's one super important thing about this, and then there's one potential thing that could be good about this. The first one is, can you reactivate it faster than it used to be able to come out? So where you can get almost an instant condemn. That's super important to know. There are some times where if you fired off your 3-shot ult, and you like as soon as like there's sometimes as Rio when you ult you feel like immediately that you whiffed. So there might be some situations where you can hold off on the condemn part if you think someone is going to walk into it. What I suspect though is that when you fire off the 3 shots, you're probably locked into that like lean back stance where you can't auto attack until you reactivate the second part. Actually, wait. Now, what if it was so insane that you fire off the 3 shots, you can just auto attack and then you have condemn ready? There's no way they did it like that, though, right?
I think we'll have to test it out in the practice pool and see what it looks like.
Yeah. So yeah, like, this will be an in-game thing. If you can condemn faster than you could before, this is like OP because this is the best hyper carry in the game.
Bernie, thank God.
I kind of like if we're on to Rio, like I just want to talk about Nadine. Like Rio's the best hyper carry in the game that doesn't need to farm animals, whereas Nadine is the infinite scaling one, where even if she farms 60 hunt like in one game, she still does infinitely less damage than Rio. Like I feel like there's an issue there, is Rio doesn't need animal stacks to do damage. Her items are just based on level, which you can get from just crafting random things. Or like that. I don't know.
What you're saying is
Nadine needs a big buff.
Give Nadine back her animal buffs.
Alright, Bernice. Puff 2 patches ago became even stronger, bringing him back in line. Less move speed. Reload time on his passive is longer. His move speed on his E is down 4% and longer cooldown. Oh, are we back to maxing Q? Okay. I'm fine with that. What's this gift? What's this gift they put?
Run away, out kite people, and somehow you just couldn't catch up.
Well, the move speed was only ever chasing characters. It wasn't running away.
I think that GIF is just showing the reload time.
So it looks like the one on the left. Before he could get 6 shots off, but now he can only get 5 shots off. Okay.
That's fair.
Yeah. This probably makes Polaris look a little bit better, considering you have 4 shots before you reload.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is fine. Jukai, higher cooldown on his E by 2 seconds at all ranks. His E is his like dash ability. Adriana's passive, when she burns people, it ticks every 0.56 seconds from every 0.5 seconds. I'm gonna be honest, this doesn't change anything, at all. Yeah, I don't.
Please stop touching Adriana. Nimble Neuron.
Those characters OP.
She's she's no one plays her in solos. Come on.
Okay, yeah, in solos. Adela. Oh, I read this change. This change is insane, by the way. So her Q cooldown is now changed to start before casting time. So when you press Q on Adela, there's like the cast time right before the pawn comes down. Well, now it goes on cooldown as you're casting the pawn. So they put the cast time here.
Oh.
So basically, you can cast the Q again, 0.23 seconds faster, if that makes
Get your
sense.
queen off faster.
You can spam your Q. Yeah, exactly. You can spam her pawns faster. So if you think about it, right, the queen is the 4th pawn. So if you multiply this by 4, you can actually get queen out from 0 stacks 1 second faster.
It'll be nice. I think it's a nice change.
ISIL, please don't hurt my boy too much. Let's see. Bonus damage per stack. So this is after the bomb is already attached. Leaves in some attack power scaling. That's probably fine. It hurts pistol more than it hurts assault rifle. Camouflage. Oh, your dash range is down. Oh my god. That sucks. Okay. It's probably fine. It makes chasing ISIL easier, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And considering you should be maxing this ability second, you still have a decent amount of stealth time to... It is more on you outmaneuvering versus just purely running in a straight line and getting away from someone because your dash range is long. I think that's fine. And then his ult, he can... Oh yeah, they nerfed it to where you couldn't stack up an infinite amount of ults last patch. Now they're making it to where you can at least have 2 ults. But they hurt the damage a lot. Okay, well, that kind of sucks. Yeah, okay. Let me just go over these real quick. Jess, did you want to say anything about Adriana besides please stop touching her?
No, just please stop touching her, Nimble Neuron. Stop touching her. Stop touching her.
Alright, Alex, 10 seconds off of his ult. That's probably fine.
Initiating slow clap for the Alex players.
Oh, Jan. Okay. I didn't read over these before. So let's see. Success has been shown to be matchup based. Okay, when I say matchup based, I just assume melee versus ranged. I'm assuming that means he does well in melee. When him usually coming out on top in particular situations, we're adjusting him a bit to give his enemies some outplay potential. So his passive, when stacked up to 5 times, refunds less cooldown. But his Q has a 1 second lower cooldown than before. They nerfed the damage on the second Q early on, but at level 9, or I guess 10, because it's passive, it doesn't matter. It doesn't change. His E, you can dash further than before, and it's a 1 second lower cooldown than before. His ult doesn't slow as much when you walk into the wall. Wait, how does this make him weaker in some
I think it makes him stronger, yeah. I was about to say the same thing.
I mean, yeah, it makes him better into range matchups because your dash is longer, the lower cooldown. I guess, yeah, okay. I mean, alright, Nimble Neuron, you know best. Not really. I mean, I'm down with this. Like, Jan is really fun to play. And I don't think he's oppressive to play against, but, like, he's also... Like, just because you're a top-tier character doesn't make you necessarily oppressive. I think he's super good. I think they'll probably nerf him in next patch because they, for whatever reason, didn't realize that this is probably too much of a buff. So
Weird.
I think Jan is going to be probably just better than Nikki this patch, actually, now that I think about it. Yeah.
Maybe they're testing the waters.
At the expense of everyone in hospital.
Yeah. Nimble Neuron, testing the waters. I don't go to hospitals, so...
I mean, did they buff his damage, right? They didn't touch his damage, technically, right? It's just cooldowns, so it's more... Yeah, so they didn't touch his damage.
The early damage on his second Q, that's it.
Yeah, the Q early damage.
So I guess what I'm saying is his damage isn't higher. It's just that his cooldowns come back quicker, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So technically he doesn't do more damage in like a 1 rotation, despite how high that damage is. Okay. I don't know. I think this dash is a really cool idea to help him deal with range, though. But I feel like the lower cooldowns and everything was not the greatest idea, considering that it affects melee matchups just as much as range.
Mm-hmm.
All right, William. If there's an obstacle where the passive ball will spawn, the ball can now spawn beyond the obstacle.
Oh, and he now gets 2 balls for his Q.
What? Where? Am I dumb?
It didn't... It would... Yeah, he does now, though.
I remember in the roadmap, but they didn't put it in the patch notes. That's why I was thinking it
it-
wasn't in the game.
Was it not in yet? Let me double check him. I'll pull him up right now. William.
That was really dangerous.
No, it's not. Yeah, so they have it in the roadmap for this patch, but they didn't put it in.
Viewability. Oh yeah, I guess it's only in the roadmap still. It's only one ball.
All right, 11. One of my favorite Hammer characters. I actually think I like 11 more than Suith.
No, wait.
Her W, damage reduction when fully charged. Oh my god, she's tankier. Let's go.
Do the natural tank now.
She can beat the crap out of anyone with a crit build even better, because she just takes less damage for free. Alright. I mean, I'm kind of down. Yeah, I'm not even kind of down. I'm super down for this change. Ava. This should stop Ava from totally spamming VF eruption, which is her ult.
Yes.
VF gain for her passive will only happen out of combat. This was like a really important change. There was one game we played where she ulted fully charged like 3 different times in a fight. Like a one fight, like within 60 seconds of each other in combat the whole time. So yeah,
That
this
was ridiculous.
like if this wasn't for that fight, like yeah, she stood no chance. Her dash range is now longer though. Changed from her E is changed from a teleport to a dash. Wait, I didn't even realize it was a teleport.
Is it really?
Resulting
I guess
in
it
some
couldn't go over the wall.
differences when passing through obstacles. Oh, so you know how like when you hedge an E over a wall, right? If you end the E in terrain, it'll teleport you to the far side because you basically made it, kind of thing. So
Yeah.
basically, if you E'd over a wall that was super thick, but like the dash would end you at a certain point, but it would put you on the other side because it was classified as a teleport. It's interesting, but now it's a dash, but they increase
so
the
if-
range.
So if you E over me, you'd end up on the other side.
Sure. And then they increase the
got
cooldown
kicked.
by 1 second. Okay, that's fine. So
Or Yuki.
the passive nerf is the most important one, I think. Yuki, less HP per level, less defense per level. Honestly, doesn't change the fact of how useful this character is. He's super ratty. His ult still is the same. Yeah, he's super good. Jackie, extra damage for bleeding enemies, attack power increase from decent amount. But the raw move speed she gets from pressing W is now lower by 4% at max rank. But when moving towards bleeding enemies, it's actually up 6%. So a net gain of 2% if you're chasing someone with W. And then the E cooldown is down by 1 second at all ranks, and the slow is a little bit higher if you land on a bleeding enemy. Okay, I mean, yeah, I like it. I always like Jackie chase buffs over rat buffs.
Yep.
Agreed.
Good change, Nimble Neuron. I like this.
Fiora, less move speed, less HP per level, and her ultimate no longer consumes mana when attacking traps or cameras. Cool.
Oh, that's good. That's really good for her, actually.
I think the biggest change they ever made for this was actually a Yuki change where he no longer consumes buttons on cameras. But yeah, they're basically doing the same thing with Fiora here, but it's less important because it's just mana. They're adding a new unique passive to the game. There's only 2 new items that have it. We'll cover it when we get to those items. Glove skill, level 7, the cooldown is a little bit higher, but it's the same at level 14. Bloodwing Knuckles, which is the HP glove that no one builds. Well, apparently they build it because it got nerfed. Lost a little bit of move speed. Brazil Gauntlets, this is like your basically your high attack speed, comes with defense, comes with regen on it glove. Generally a tankier glove, more of a scrappy glove, so they're giving it 2 more AD and 5% more attack speed. We'll probably see this glove more. It still gets outclassed by the Enad glove, and then obviously if you're a skill amp character, you're going to go the skill amp glove. So this probably makes it more competitive with the Enad glove. The issue is that Enad glove synergizes so well with glove characters because of the auto reset with the glove skill. So
You just said a word that triggered my gorilla monkey instinct.
which one?
You said regen?
Oh yeah. Don't worry, they've gutted regen in this patch. Fear not.
I'm sad.
You know what I could see this glove being good on though is Leon, actually. If he's standing on a water pool, he gets a lot of he gets Enad or something when he's on
Yeah, he
the
gets
water, right?
Yeah.
I can see this being because this routes with like Amazonas and stuff. You can go like a tankier build. As long as you're on water, you still have relevant damage. I actually think this could be pretty good. Him.
But I I don't remember, but does the Enad glove even give attack speed?
No, it gives a move speed penalty though.
Oh,
It's like 55 attack power, just like this. Well, 57.
Mhm.
It's like 55 attack power, and then it's like 39 Enad.
Oh, I see.
All right, pistol changes. Stampede. So I've read over this before. So basically, the how do I word this? I'm not very good with words. Essentially, the second bullet from Stampede, the damage would scale with skill amp. So it would actually calculate skill amp twice. So let's say the bullet was going to do 100 damage, plus you have 100% skill amp. So it would do 200 damage, because let's just say that's how the math was, right? So it's a 200% damage bullet. But because you have 100% skill amp, it would then double to 400 magic damage, right? So skill amp was basically being calculated twice. So they changed the bullet to be cellular damage instead of skill damage, so it doesn't get calculated twice.
Oh, I see.
But then they
okay.
compensate by giving it extra skill amp scaling.
I was gonna say, did you know that I saw a couple Sylvias building Stampede? I was curious how that worked.
So as much, I just want to clarify that, like, as much as this looks like a buff, because you're basically doubling the skill amp scaling,
Yeah.
and then adding missing target's HP, this scaling is not being like multiplied twice. So
Right.
again, like, it could be a buff. It's one of those you have to see in game kind of things. But just know, like, gut reaction is because it's not being calculated twice anymore based on your skill amp.
Yeah, so when they
that.
initially released Stampede, it was calculating the bullet's skill amp on top of the actual like skill amp of your character. So that's why it was calculating it twice, correct?
Yes.
That's so weird.
It's
I
really
feel like
weird.
that's something that should have been worked out before they released the pistol.
I think it's fine because the numbers weren't super crazy on it.
Yeah,
I guess.
I think what's gonna have to happen is people are probably going to in the practice duel see which one does more damage and how it looks like late game.
Devil's Marksman, our meteorite pistol.
All right, I called this 2 weeks ago when we found out about this change and we were playing. I said this gun has too many bullets to get to the last bullet in the magazine. Next patch, they're going to be reduce the amount of ammo in it, and it's finally happening.
Thank goodness.
Good.
And you know, ironically, they put 4 because of Jenny's passive is every 4 shots. Is my guess.
Genius. Absolute genius.
You want to know something though? I'm like Devil's Marksman. Like, oh god, that pistol on Aya is gross.
So yeah, and then of course because they changed this to cellular damage as well, so they're making the raw skill amp and the extra skill damage like just better in general. So it's not getting calculated twice. Also, no, because it hasn't been touched, you also heal from this attack, the fourth shot in this pistol. I think because of the lower magazine count now, I think this is very buildable, and you're actually gonna have a lot of healing on the pistol characters that run this. Unironically, if you're running skill amp. I think this is actually an amazing pistol now. It went from being the worst pistol in the game that you never want to build to this is actually going to be amazing.
You ask me my thoughts on this Devil's Marksman change.
What are your thoughts on this change?
Vroom vroom.
There's no flat amp still.
You said healing. Vroom vroom.
All right.
I don't know. This pistol's actually so easy to build. Just to remind you, the recipe is 2 guns and oil. You just find all of those in factory. It's so easy to build.
I mean, with you just need meteorite, right?
Yes, plus meteorite.
So basically, I'm getting 2 guns, oil, finishing my entire build, then looking for meteorite.
Yes.
You run around the world.
This pistol also gives I believe it gives innate attack speed. I think it's like 30 or 35% attack speed on the pistol. So it's actually not bad at getting all 4 shots out relatively quickly. So yeah, I think Devil's Marksman is actually the best pistol in the game if you're not running Rozzy. I think Rozzy's probably the only one that won't run this. But yeah, we got new daggers. Oh, actually, changes to Carnawan. Carnawan now has less Enad early on, but more Enad later on. So it breaks even at level 13. Nothing super important there. It makes Bleeder Jackie a little bit less grief, but actually technically a little bit better late game. But I guess late game you could go Fragarack anyways, so I mean,
Yeah, I don't think they would keep that late game.
yeah, this is just a nerf to Bleeder Jackie, I feel like, because no one else builds Carnawan unless they're memeing. Like, you can build Carnawan as a meme. This hurts meme builds, but yeah, the only meta build that builds Carnarvon is a Bleeder Jackie. Because I know Cafe goes Skill Amp, Shoichi goes Skill Amp, or he also goes the HP Dagger. Is actually really good on him, I will say, because it has a lot of raw attack power. I actually copied it from...
Are you talking about Viral Blade?
No, it's the one that gives Grievous Wounds. It gives like 250 HP, gives like 66 attack power, and then like Grievous Wounds. I forget what it's called, but yeah. Basically, it's really good. I copied ECU's build for it. Damascus.
Yeah, Damascus.
Yeah, that's actually a really good dagger. And then, of course, if you're going to go Vibro, you'll probably see Kathy, if she's going crit, you'll see Vibro. And then Daniel, I think Vibro's his best. I've seen some Daniels go Carnarvon because it gives CDR. But again, like Daniel has other issues. It's not just his dagger, so.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. Damascus Steel though, that's 3-zone weapon though.
Yes, it's one zonable. Like the blue dagger is one zonable in school, and then you need like a nail and mousetrap from other zones.
Right, so it's like that's still a 3-zone weapon because you don't get nails and mousetrap in the same zones.
Correct. All right, and we have a new dagger in the game. I've looked at the components for this. This is 3-zonable from if you go Forest Beach Hotel, you can actually build this there. So yeah, the new dagger stats are, it's 42 attack power, it's like the same as Carnarvon. It gives defense, which I don't remember if Carnarvon gives defense. I know it gives regen. But this also has the new passive that they've added in. Hitting a single enemy 3 times with basic attacks or a single target skill, excluding weapons and item skills, within 4 seconds provides a status for 2.5 seconds. Basic attacks hitting multiple times or dot skills are counted as 1 hit, so it's like Jackie Q only counts as 1 hit kind of thing. So this has a 6-second cooldown, and it's a buff that lasts for 2.5 seconds. The buff increases your attack power by 33% and move speed by 10%.
I wonder who's gonna build this.
The new character, right?
I think
it's like literally built for him. It looks like.
I think Daniel will try it out. I also consider Shoichi might try it. I'm gonna try this on Shoichi, I will say.
Let me know how it goes. I don't normally play dagger characters.
Yeah. Like. It also probably isn't bad on Jackie. We'll have to see what else routes with the dagger, like what other items can be built. But yeah, because like 33% attack power is a decent amount. But again, it only lasts for 2.5 seconds, and it's after you've already quote unquote blown some of your load, right? Because you have to basic attack or hit someone with a single target spell. Yeah. So I think Shoichi's only single target spell is actually his E, and I don't know if it'll proc with his passive. I hope if it synergizes with his passive, because his Q and his W are both considered AoE, but when he throws a dagger, that should be single target. So we'll have to see. Because getting some extra attack power while you finish your combo on Shoichi might actually matter, but we'll see. I'll keep an eye on ECU's batch history. So
Agni.
Assault rifles. Agni is losing some attack speed. I believe it because it's a legendary weapon that's 3-zonable. And yeah, you're pretty strong in Chapel when you finish it. Rapier skills, the Durandal, the 2-zonable red rapier is getting 3% more lifesteal. Fultocleto, generally I believe it's a 3-zone weapon, has the attack speed built into it, is getting 3 extra attack power. So they're buffing these after they nerfed Fiora. My question is this going to be a huge change to the Kiara? Because the crit Kiara goes Fultocleto. It's only 3 attack power, so it's not super crazy.
Yeah, the crit was a meta thing for quite a while on Kiara.
And then super nice quality of life thing here. Pay attention to the bat skill. So obviously Luke and Magnus are probably your 2 most common ones. The third being Barbara. So they changed it to where now when you hit someone with bat skill, they're more likely to go the direction you're facing rather than like it's like kind of an angle thing, right, with where your bat was. Yeah. So like the old, it used to like kind of go off to the right here, but now it kind of, even though it's on the right side, it still kind of goes straight forward.
Yeah, I was playing Luke, and I used bat skill, and it was at like a weird angle. Like it was kind of like on the very edge of the arc, and Jess had just used her ultimate on Adriana to displace them, and they ended up behind me after bat skill somehow.
Yeah, that was weird.
They ended up flying behind me after bat skill.
Bat skill Adriana R. Let's go.
I think I like this. Just for consistency.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's not a surprise when you get hit and you go straight back. And then
Imagine he gets knocked into the corner. All right, I'm just gonna run this way then. Just leaves.
yeah, I like this change too.
All right, dual swords. Now there's actually a hint at the next character with this change. So the second cast damage, this is basically the Yone ult, the dash part. They're buffing the level 14 weapon mastery skill damage on it by actually a lot. An extra 45% attack power onto that skill. I think this is actually a really good change considering dual swords late game feel kind of it feels like you can't auto attack a whole lot, but it does feel like you can generally get your weapon skill off, like at least the first part, and then the fact that they're just adding more damage onto the second part, I think is good. I don't think this changes a whole lot because I feel like dual swords are less useful late game, but this kind of tries to keep them more relevant. And again, like I said, like, it feels like you can't auto attack as much late game because a lot of people have so much damage, a lot of like CC and whatnot. So it feels like you're either dead or you're chasing someone down, and there's not a lot of time to auto attack.
I'm excited for the next change that I've seen too, though.
Yeah, the second. I'm glad they're putting this attack power on the second cast. By the way, it's the first. Obviously, they just got done changing the rampage skill a few patches ago, but I'm really liking the mechanics of the rampage because it offers. Oh, if you land the rampage, you can go on and use it again. You know, whereas before you could just use it twice.
Yeah,
regardless.
And then I like this statement because this kind of tells us the next character is actually a dual sword character. I was really hoping for like dual rapier, but yeah, it says improvements for overall dual sword weapon type is planned for the next update. All right, Jake, come on, tell me. I know you're thinking what I'm thinking. What's the best change for dual sword that could possibly happen in the game?
And what's the best change for dual sword that could possibly happen in the game?
It's save plans. We need a dual sword weapon category.
Save. Oh my God, yes, please make dual swords an option. Please. I am so tired of having to scroll down in all the weapons to find dual swords. Just make it a category, please, Nimble Neuron.
I'll tell you a life hack. You know the best way to do it is to actually click on, like, if you're going Yuki, for example, you actually click on the two-handed sword, and then you click on the green swords, like the dual swords, on the right-hand side, because it shows like what it builds into. That's the life hack.
Quality of life hack. Still, it needs its own category. I don't think they need their own like you know how like you would choose a weapon to build. I don't think it needs that because you build from the long sword or the knife.
Right.
But it definitely should have its own category. Hold Neuron, please.
All right. Death rune change. Buff to the hex proc, just a little extra 25% skill amp damage.
I think it's good. I think this is really good. Most of the time when you go Death Rune, because it requires a meteorite, most of the time you use it like as a secondary, and you go Mystic Jade Charm as your primary, and Death Rune is literally your secondary. But this should make it a little bit better.
For me, I felt like because I used Death Rune in some of our games recently, it was doing some work. It was definitely slapping, but like. Yeah, I guess I could see how it could use a little bit of a kick, you know.
Maybe it doesn't quite feel like it's the reward that you earned, kind of thing.
I feel like it needs a little bit more just to be worth getting meteorite for. Because honestly, I wouldn't prioritize building this over even Rio having her the upgraded headpiece. I forget what it is called.
Not only that, this item was actually pretty difficult to build, like the Death Rune, because it requires playing cards, fountain pen, and chalk in order to make the charm, and then from there you can make. You have to two zone it and then get meteorite. Yeah. No, it's tree of life. Sorry. Yeah. So it's.
No, it's meteorite.
It used to be tree though. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it used to be tree. Now it's meteorite. Yeah,
but you have to two zone to get the components for it before you even get meteorite.
Right,
so that's
right. So,
it's kind of a lot.
Yeah, the trade for like the trade for what it's worth.
I'm just looking at I'm just looking at Devil's Marksman, one zonable plus meteorite.
Exactly.
That spawns in a meteorite zone, you know.
Right, and you're looking at this thing, okay? Playing cards, fountain pen, chalk, make your charm first, and then your meteorite.
All right, and then I want to say Pedal Torrent. I haven't seen this a single time since they've made it a Glacial Ice Shuriken.
I've seen a
Sorry,
couple
I've seen it
of,
once. They were dead.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of Alex play it. Not sure how I feel too much about it. I haven't built it at all since they made changes to it.
So here's
I don't get why don't just make it 80. 73 to 78 just feels very arbitrary. Just make it 80. Just make it 80.
Cyan's just so hard to build now.
So
It's so hard to
why did they take it away? Like it's still hard to build, by the way. Like minus the glacial ice, you still have to go to like 3 or 4 different zones to build this the Shuriken.
Lighter,
But now they're like, oh yeah,
needle, poison,
use glacial ice too. It's like, yeah, I'm not spending the effort.
gunpowder, shrapnel.
Instead of going to
You
3 or
can
4
freeze
zones,
them.
I'd rather just kill animals for mastery.
You can 3-zone this, but you could also just go all the way down the left side and do the whole like archery range to beach route and then make some skill amp items. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like it. I just don't like Pedal Torrent right now. And then you also need tree. It's just like, why bother?
Thematically though, it was always a shuriken that you had a backup for, so it kind of makes sense that it's like a tree thing, right? Because it's like, oh, you'll have your primary shuriken with you, right? It's just it's such a pain in the ass to build still. Like, why make it tree and a pain in the ass, right?
I mean,
My OCD is still killing me. Just make it 80. Nimble Neuron, if you're listening, make it 8. It's right there. You're right at the gates. Just open them up.
I mean, listen to what you need to make it. You have like what needle, paper, lighter, ice, piano wire, gunpowder, scrap metal, and tree of life, and water.
Yeah.
This is a ridiculous item.
Oh my gosh, dude! I just looked down and my OCD is killing me even more. We got Monohoshi's out coming in with a 3 extra attack power.
Used to be a legendary sword. Now you practically never see this item built because it doesn't give that much mastery crafting. And unless I'm mistaken, I believe it's still a 4-zone weapon.
Because 55 would be too much, by the way.
For a 4-zone weapon, yeah, you know.
Just 2 attack power. Just give it 55. I don't get it.
We're getting into it now. The HP regen nurse. We're coming in.
No regen.
All right, Excalibur losing 55 flat HP and some percent regen. Sniper rifles, some buffs, or sorry, some nerfs to the green and blues. These literally don't matter. TAC 50, this is Bernice's go-to sniper rifle, losing 4 attack power and 4% lifesteal. The 4% lifesteal is actually more impactful than the attack power. So this item has scaling attack power, so you get this. Basically, you're 2 levels behind where you were before, as far as scaling attack power. This change is really scary. Even with the Bernice passive nerf. I think this is why they felt okay doing it, because they nerfed his passive. His
wow.
Yeah, this is the one magazine, or what do you call it? 1 ammo count sniper rifle.
Yeah.
Yikes.
It's the gold one, Blackfire. That one I saw on a Bernice, and that Bernice hurt so bad. Like,
Honestly, I think I'm more excited to play Bernice now than the new character. Despite the fact that I don't really like playing Bernice now, that looks fun.
the only downside to Blackfire Cannon is you do have to get a True Fire, so you have to compete for tree for that, and I think that's more like a late game thing. So
It's definitely a second tree thing, yeah.
Yeah. It's a second tree thing. There's no way you go first tree on it. So second tree. But when you build Polaris, if you build Polaris on Bernice and then you go into Blackfire, I feel like that's pretty decent, right?
Can't you just go TAC 50, go to Hotel Tree?
I think Polaris is. I feel like Polaris is better in this situation because you're losing some lifesteal off of TAC 50 now, and Polaris is just gonna be better with the larger magazine size to compensate against the. Because I would say Bernices are kind of 50-50 now on whether they go Polaris or TAC 50. So I think now Polaris is gonna be used more often. Is my guess.
Yeah, I think, but I for sure think people are gonna go Polaris first and then trade into Blackfire for it.
I still don't think it's bad. If you see a Bernice with TAC 50, like he can probably still mess you up. Like there's no doubt about it. It's just
yeah, he still got that butler suit to compensate for some of the lifesteal, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of attack power still. I honestly don't think the TAC 50 nerfs are huge at all.
Wait, why are we not talking about Aya, guys? She's got a sniper rifle.
Oh, which one? The gold one? You love that, the deadly ray?
Oh my god, hold on. I'm gonna go on a very short rant. For the love of God, buff sniper skill, alright? It's so fucking bad, alright? It does no damage. Like, I understand it's low cooldown, long ass range. There's basically, like, if you're using it as poke, I get it. It's not doing that much damage, right? Increase the damage percentage when someone's low health, alright? That sniper skill does no damage. like at all. Like please, just buff. There you go. I'm done.
AP,
Is that skill amp scaling, or is it just
All weapon
is it
skills
just
scale with skill amp. So like that's why you see
Oh.
like Hedgen bow skill do more damage than like Nadine bow skill if they're like attack
Right.
power. That's why I don't think it affects Bernie's too much if you buff it, because it's proportionally going to be better for Aya because of amp.
Yeah. I agree.
All right, spear. These are targeted at Fiora, so she loses 40 HP at level 20 with this spear. Cosmic Minded, this is a Moonstone spear. You can one zone it in Temple. Gets 5 more attack power. Not a big deal. These are Nathapone cameras. I don't care. I don't care what you do with these. I'm moving on.
Oh, these are irrelevant. I was gonna say these are irrelevant.
Tonfa reflects less damage when spinning. Okay, so here's the only other item they added in the new effect too. So this is the Mithril Tonfas.
Oh, Windrunners, yeah.
I'm already gonna tell you right
anyone
now.
built it.
Yeah, I'm already gonna tell you right now. It's worse than it was before because it gives less defense, less move speed.
So now no one will really build it.
It is not super easy, and so here's the way it is. So yeah, again, landing three skills or whatever on a target or whatever. So it has to be the same target. Landing 3 single target skills or attacks, which means Hyunwoo's E, Q, ult, and of course his W doesn't do damage. None of his skills actually proc this. It's only so basically for Hyunwoo's situation, it has to be 3 auto attacks. The exception is, of course, the only Tonfa character is going to be Alex. His Q is single target. So basically, Alex with Q and auto attacks can proc this as well. But yeah, giving less defense, less move speed. It's already a nerf. But yeah, after you hit X amount of attacks, you're going to get a buff for 2.5 seconds. Does give you a nice shield for 225 health, some move speed in that time frame, and some attack speed. Now, I'm going to tell you right now... Oh, sorry, let me finish my thought real quick. Hyunwoo doesn't use attack speed. Alex can use the attack speed. Hyunwoo is not going to really use the shield because usually when he gets a target against the wall, they're probably dead. They're either dead or the engage is over. Hyunwoo slams someone into the wall and then does this thing, and then he generally walks away because that's how he trades in solos. The move speed, I guess, would help Hyunwoo walk away as well as the shield, where he gets less retaliation damage. But Hyunwoo doesn't use the attack speed. I feel like just losing the defense and the raw move speed makes this worse because it's harder to get on your target.
Right, I don't see the benefit of building this. Like, I really like. I don't think it's. I haven't seen any. Like, I've seen a couple of Tonfa Hunwoos, and the Tonfa is like mainly like I've seen. Like, I saw one guy go Plasma Tonfa, and that was it.
There's only one change that this effect needs, by the way, and I think it would be fine for Dagger as well. Change this from single target skill to just skill.
Oh, yeah, that would be pretty good too if it's AoE.
Because hypothetically, so for in the Tomfly case, right? Hypothetically, Alex ult can actually trigger this. If he gets 3 pulses on one enemy, he gets the fat move speed, the fat shield, and the attack speed to get in there. If he's trying to chase someone down, if he gets 3 triggers from his ult, he can actually catch up to them, which encourages kills, right? Like what's wrong with that? Encouraging people fighting, and like discouraging ratting.
But how many Tonfa Alex have you seen?
Generally, you see them go the Mysok, which is the defense Tonfa, as well as Amp Shuriken is the more popular build I'm seeing. I don't see a lot of two-handed sword or pistol Alex's as much as I see Amp Shuriken and Tonfa. Tonfa is generally his go-to melee because the skill amp you get from Weapon Mastery is really high for Tonfa. And because you're already building amp with Shuriken.
Yeah, I was also gonna say, seeing the next weapon as well, the other Tonfa, Obsidian.
Oh, this is a nice buff. I've built this. This is a 4-score Tonfa. It gives 50 defense and 75 attack power.
This is actually pretty good Tonfa too. Think about it, because you just hitting an enemy with a skill hex slows them. That's pretty good. And then that way you're like it's easier for you to actually get your kill. Because I know that sometimes I feel like when I play against Hunwood players, they have a hard time finishing their kills.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think this helps a little bit. I
Yeah.
think this is good for the late game.
Yeah, this is Keanu's best in slot weapon. I don't care if you go. I don't care if you get free Imperial Silk Gloves every game. I'd rather go Plasma Tonfa and then like try and get the Force Core for this. Like every time, I would go Tonfa every time.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be really worth it.
All right, and then this is the True Adriana nerf, which Jess, I don't know if you're gonna notice this because you never build this on her.
I don't often build Fireball. No, I think I will go ahead and try to build it though, even though they nerfed it, just because it is like just to compare. Because I don't tend to go Fireball.
Yeah, so it used to be you got 60 flat skill damage at level 20. Now it's 50 from 60, so like it's
That's not too bad.
It's noticeable late game. 10?
Late
Or,
game
what do you mean
no.
it's not too bad? Like I think White Crane
Oh, no,
gives
no,
16
sorry.
flat amp.
Yeah.
It's almost a
What
full
I'm saying,
accessory.
though, is like most of the time, like when you see Adrian and squads hurts anyways, you can do damage to squads.
And then bow. So I have never seen this bow built except for in the ECRS duo tournament, and it was a really wonky Rio build. But I will say, like his build looked bad. He didn't do a lot of damage. So this bow definitely needs some love.
That's the Moonstone bow.
Yes.
That one is. I still wouldn't even build this on Hedgen.
Yeah, like it's literally just about utility because the damage on it is it's 15% amp. I think it gives like 200 mana, and then it gives like this fat HP, which is actually nice. Now that they've buffed it this much, and it gives 92 attack power. Like,
I mean,
it looks more appealing now, but it feels. I would say the best bow user that's going to use this is actually Hedgen because of the HP. Like, it gives enough stats now, I think, that you could lose some damage from Elemental Bow in exchange for 335 HP now.
But the question is also, would you rather hold on to the meteorite and just build? Was it what was the other gold bow? No, the gold bow.
There's Argreotoxis, which is
Yeah,
Force Core.
Argreotoxis.
It's Force Core. Like,
But
yeah,
even
that's
if
the
it-
highest
it would
damage
be
bow
right.
in the game. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm saying that what do you want? I think with the changes that they're making to this bow compared to that one is, do you want the HP or do you want more damage?
Yeah, so they're now defining the difference between the bows a bit more, which I like. Yeah, because this gives
HP,
more HP than an EOD suit. Sometimes you switch EOD from Cabana just for the HP. Like, this bow gives more HP than EOD suit now.
I think it'll be good for survivability. I think you're right. I think building Artemis on Hedgen late game might help her with survivability.
I definitely feel more comfortable building this with when I have commanders, and instead of crown I have the other headpiece, and then I have no HP in my build at all. But I would feel a lot better building this if I had or I would feel a lot better with that if I could build this. I think this is a good item. I appreciate the vision range as well. So, you know.
And then Ancient Bolt is clearly just targeted at Rio because it's the only character that builds this.
Yes.
Losing 3 Enad at level 1. Technically losing 3 Enad every level, which is basically doubled because of her double auto attacks. So every time she auto attacks, she's losing 6 damage.
Have you ever seen a white bow Rio attack people? Like, I feel like she does negative damage.
Yes.
I want to shout out all the Rios who realized Ancient Bolt was a weapon after this character came out, because people didn't realize it's been in the game for a long time before Rio came out.
It was the recommended weapon too, actually, surprisingly. No one knew.
Yeah, but it's just because she can abuse it with her double auto attack for the double Enad. It's like an AR but on a bow, but 2 attacks instead of 3.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine? It had so much Enad. What was it?
It was 40. It was 40 as soon as you finished
40.
it.
Yeah, 40 Enad. Oh my lord.
Yeah, you killed people in dock. Like, you saw Razi, she was dead.
Yep. Oh, it's Plasma Sword Yuki? Ha, later.
Yeah, nice try. Alright, armor, chest pieces. Sunset armor getting 2 extra defense. I feel like, honestly, you know what this change did to me? It reminded me that Sunset Armor is even in the game, because I forgot this was a chest piece. So it still gives like 360 HP, and now it gives 20 defense. Yeah. It exists, guys. Please build me. That's what Neville would say.
I think Sunset Armor should just be moved to a purple weapon and given, like,
Double crafting?
Well, just give the different stat, like another
The thing
stat.
is, the sunset armor is so easy to build, though. Like
Jake.
sunset armor is way easier to build than commanders. When you build sunset armor, you just need a ruby. You need the cloth or the green, the cloth and leather.
Jake, you're
We'll have it built into
you're a
something else.
genius. You know exactly what stat would fit on this. It's thorns. You make it a purple. You combine sunset armor with spike plank.
There you go.
And
Exactly.
it becomes
There,
purple
you
and it
have
has thorns.
There you go. You have a transitional chest piece, and you have a purple chest piece that you can build.
Yeah.
That's what they need to do. Like I don't know.
And then you just
I know
nerf the
this-
HP from 360. You take it down to like 275 or something, and give it thorns.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Like 250.
I'm thinking that sunset might be the next, like, compare EOD suit or sunset. Like, if sunset became purple, I think it might be better on Lennox than EOD.
Yeah, because of the
Well-
HP. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's why we were saying like bring the HP down to like 250.
Give it thorns. And then the other issue with sunset has always been that you have to use a ruby to craft it. Like, the leather armor is super easy to build, but there's a lot of builds that run through pawn that are just like, I could build sunset, but I need these gemstones.
I would
for
lose a
other-
ruby.
Yeah, I need these gemstones for
Well,
other things.
It's not just that though. Like, you literally can build sunset as well if you go. I mean, because it forest as well. Forest, you can get hammer and gemstone too. Or beach, you can get hammer and gemstone. So there's options. There's routing options.
Yeah, there were old things when other chess pieces weren't as good, where like when you ran like Shuriken Hedgen, right? You start like factory, you'd hit cemetery at some point, which had your chess piece, and then when you got to pawn, you had sunset armor because it just gave so much HP. But now because the Cabana's in the game, because the argument used to be over sunset or commander's armor, but now that Cabana exists, a lot of people go commanders because of the upgrade.
Yeah.
Even if you don't get it, it's just worth it. All right, sheet metal armor. Jess, you build this, right? This is the blue thing before EOD, or no?
Sheet metal armor.
Oh wait, no, this is pre
No.
Crusaders.
That's
Crusaders.
pre-Crusaders. No. That's pre-Crusaders. That's before that's the iron ore and the
Plus fabric armor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, this is 8 defense, has a lower move speed penalty. Alright. I don't think this changes anything because anyone who builds this for Crusaders is right next door to Chapel. So I don't think this changes a lot.
Literally doesn't change anything. I guess like if you're grading, if you're
If you get
on
griefed while you're trying to craft it, I
yeah,
guess.
if you're on poverty or you're getting griefed.
Alright, EOD suit losing 15 HP and losing
They
less.
keep touching EOD suit.
This is just too good. The cooldown reduction with
Hey.
HP and like Natter is just too good. Too many stats.
It's hurting EOD suit. No. Just tone it down more. Just more and more and more.
Even after
Yeah,
this,
it's
it's still the best chess piece in the game.
Yeah. That's why so many people build it.
Alright, Cardinal Robes, this is the blue chess piece that gives flat amp. They're nerfing the regen on it. So we've nerfed the regen on this, we've nerfed it on like the two-handed sword. Moving on. Actually, wait, real quick, what are you guys' thoughts on Cardinal Robes? It's basically just the flat amp.
I've
And
seen
it's,
some
like, a little bit of
Yukis
HP.
build it. I've seen some Yuki build it, and I've seen some Evas build it. I don't work with it too much, so I'm like, eh.
But that's the one that builds into the Holy Priest robes?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't build into Holy.
Yeah,
Priest.
this is a finished component.
That is a finish. That's like basically like like sunset armor.
Yeah, it's another blue. It's the only other
Yeah.
blue chess piece. I guess technically there's like the covert armor, but yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I remember this chest. I think it's like CDR, right?
No,
I've seen some
nah, it's
Yukis
just
build
flat
it.
amp and HP and regen. That's all.
Yeah, I've seen Yuki's build it.
I will say, I don't know how I haven't seen it. Maybe it's too hard to build. I haven't seen the Force Core version of this. I know this doesn't upgrade with Force Core, but you know
You mean Holy Orders?
it's like Deacon's Robe plus Force Core.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's Deacon's
I haven't
Robe.
seen that in game yet. Like as good as it
built
looks.
like once or twice. I built it once or twice, but I've never used it myself. I always gave it to someone else. It's basically 450 max HP, crit damage reduction 8%, and then extra skill damage 16%, flat 16.
Yeah, like that chess piece is so good. I just haven't seen anyone
I
with
feel
it.
like it would be
Makes
good
me
on
sad.
Linux, but there's so many other items that you could build with a Force Core and a Tree of Life and a Meteorite.
All right, we have new arm piece items. So this is the blue. Honestly, I'm gonna skip to the purple because that's all that really matters. This does use a new component to build. It's called barbed wire. We'll get to it in a second. So minus build path. Let's just look at the stats on this because I feel like just because you look at the build path on this, you don't know what items it synergizes with, right? So let's just look at the stats and then we'll talk about it. So this is a new purple arm piece that gives 25 attack power and 10% CDR. I will say immediately, the only thing that this competes with is Sheath Shah Jahan. So you're competing with attack power and HP versus attack power and CDR. That's my opinion on it.
I don't really build Sheath Shah Jahan, or I built Sheath Shah Jahan on Adriana a lot. Looking at this would not be bad on an Adriana piece, to be honest.
Yeah, this screams Adriana to me.
Yeah, it does scream Adriana. Because blueprints, you can build blueprints. Actually, if you know, because she has that zone that she can go through from factory, chapel, towards beach, right? With what is it? Incendiary. And you could literally grab all those pieces. You get paper from chapel, grab pen from uptown, and I don't know where barbed wires are gonna be, so we're gonna have to see how that works out.
So, on my Sylvia route currently, I have Sheath of Shah Jahan as one, but I would probably replace Sheath for this too on one of my Sylvia routes.
Yeah, like I said, we have to see what the routing looks like, but just looking at the stats, like what are your because even casters, because there's no, unlike League, there's no ability power versus attack power differences in this. Like, it's just attack power in this game. So even on spellcasters, I would, depending, it all comes down to routing. I would probably take this over Tendalo Span for the attack power.
Yep.
Because this buffs your spells, and like it makes your auto attacks more relevant. So one of the things that is like not super noticeable is because Adriana builds so much attack power, despite her like looking like a spellcaster, her auto attacks hurt. So I'd rather I'd rather have a spellcaster that my spells hurt and my auto attacks hurt, kind of thing.
Do we think Chiar could use this?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like, you know what this would be good on too, actually?
Wait.
Pistol Aya, fucking Magnum Boa Aya.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, it comes down to
true.
routing. But like, yeah, like back on Kiara, like her thing with cooldown, it means her ult's up more, it means her shield comes back up more, which effectively gives her more HP. Her chain is up more, which means she can run away a little bit easier or catch people easier. And then, you know, it's just, Kiara uses abilities more than a lot of characters than you would think. That's why Mistleton's one of her best items, because it comes with 15% CDR. Because it lets her spam her abilities so much. And even if you get the ult reset, having extra cooldown reduction could make the difference between it being on a 30-second cooldown to being like a 20 or 25-second cooldown. So yeah, like Kiara normally builds Sheath.
Squad leader armband is just the green from Smart Band, right?
Yeah, so this is it's his bandage plus needle. That's what squad leader armband is. And then Creed of the Night leading some region. Yeah, this is just a nerf to region builds. I will say though, like for region builds, I think the other arm piece is better.
Well, Creed of Night, I see a lot of Kathy build Creed of Night, so I'll have this, like, it's not terrible, but that's not a huge change to her.
Yeah, so, and then Tachyons, again, this is arguably one of the best boots in the game, just losing some move speed. It's hard to not like cooldown reduction on any character.
Uh-huh.
Red Shoes needs a buff because I feel like no one wants to build this with VF Blood Sample, despite the fact they made it easier to build, because Red Shoes only requires slippers and sheet metal. It used to require slipper, sheet metal, and glass, broken glass. So, buff to Red Shoes, some move speed, and some lifesteal. Masks, so this is the green feather plus hairband, it gives less move speed. Vigilante.
Yeah, I used to just have that, remember, as Adriana?
Yeah. And then Vigilante, this is the anti-skill damage headpiece, just gives less mana regen. New accessory. So this is the accessory that builds into the new dagger. The only other people that would use this is people who used Flower of Fate as their accessory and like never upgraded it besides Fourscore. Like, now you have a feather option, because it gives the same stats as Flower of Fate plus 0 point whatever, like a little bit of move speed. Like, this isn't, if you didn't build Flower of Fate as an accessory, you're not building this. Don't think don't think this changes your build path because it gives move speed now. If you didn't use these two stats before, you're not using it again.
No. Here's the play. You build 2 Flower of Fates. You use 1 to build this. Later on, you get rid of this, and you just build the Fourscore Flower of Fate.
Right, and the reason you build the Fourscore version of it is because it gives attack power. It's like 15 or 20 attack power with these stats as well. So yeah, like this is kind of a bait if people like. I know no one listens to this practically, but yeah, like if anyone thinks that this is like, oh my god, like this new accessory is insane, it's literally a Flower of Fate plus a small amount of move speed. But yeah, so fan, this is the nail plus fan, this is the green part. It gives 6 skill damage instead of 9. White crane fan, gilded, oh no, I'm wrong. Fan is the white fan, guild is the green. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nail and fan.
So they're just buffing or nerfing the components, but it looks like white crane is the same, because it's not touched here.
You're gonna like the next one, Brian.
Grimoire. Okay, I'm fine with this. So the Hex does more damage. Considering the accessory gives 0 stats, I think this is actually fine.
Did they do it because they also buffed the Death Runes? Did they buff Death Runes Primordial Hex numbers?
Yeah. So hexes don't stack as well. So if you get hit by 1 hex, you can't be hexed by something else.
Right.
But yeah, I think this is totally fine because Grimoire actually doesn't give any stats. Fun fact, Grimoire builds out of Flower of Fate. The more you know. Builds out of Flower of Fate, and it doesn't give any stats when you finish the item, besides the passive. Veritas Lux, again, another regen nerf. This is actually a core accessory on regen builds. So nerfing regen, but buffing the skill amp on it, so making it more of a combat item.
Yeah, this hurts Acne Aya and Acne Isol, doesn't it?
I generally see quivers or music box on those characters. Technically, yeah, this does more damage than quiver, but yeah, generally routing wise, they generally go quiver because it's a pain to go to temple. I will say, this is probably a buff to Teen Spirit Heart. So Teen Spirit's the attack range guitar, and they start temple, so they build Versus Lux. Because I mean, like, it's not a buff to Heart because like it's skill amp and you're going an Enad build. It just makes your Q do a little bit more damage, so it's a buff, but like quotations. It's not. Jolly Roger. This is the. I'm gonna call it the Yuki accessory.
That's Haru's favorite accessory. Haru built that on Jackie too. It's Jolly Roger. He just likes being fast.
Yeah, so it gives more attack power now, from 12 to 16. Kundala. This is the accessory that gives you Lichbane proc. They're buffing the proc damage on it. So it's going from 250% of your skilling, 200 to 250%, and then 150 to 200% skilling. So it makes the Lichbane procs more potent. This is unironically an Emma buff, because I think Emma is one of the best characters that can use Kundala. I know Linux is really good with it too. Yeah. So these are actually just buffs to those characters, because this item is not that hard to build. Once you figure out the recipe, it's just Mithril and Meteorite. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. It's Moonstone, basically a Moonstone and Meteorite. That's it. No, I'm sorry. Mithril. That's it.
Yeah. And then, alright, get your F's out in chat. Are you ready for it?
Easter eggs, no!
Easter egg no longer buildable. All curry items are no longer buildable. Whiskey bourbon. So I'll go over the recipe. So Easter egg is chocolate and egg. All curries have been removed.
Bourbons?
Chocolate and whiskey, which was generally like an uptime.
Rozzy. Yeah, that's a Rozzy freaking thing, dude. Oh my god, I'm sad.
Potato bread, which was potato plus milk, no longer usable.
Potato bread.
Lemon custard. This one I'm not 100% on. It's ice and lemon, right? Was lemon custard?
Ice and lemon.
Whiskey bourbon was like my my secret weapon, dude, in early fights. So I was just like, nope, whiskey bourbon on Rozzy. Like zone 2, that's all.
I love this change, by the way. I'm fine with losing all those. Highball, which is carbonated
3?
water and whiskey.
Carbonated and whiskey, yeah.
It gives 3 now instead of 2. I'm totally down for that.
Oh no, it's so sad. We're losing so much food.
Oh, here we go. Barbed wire, piano wire, and hammer.
Yep. So this is like a beach thing. Where I told you that dagger could be built Forest Beach Hotel.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can. Yeah.
I was thinking about the accessory, the armband, because I can literally just build it.
All right. Here's the biggest change to the patch. The unspoken change. Factory no longer has bandages. Alley now has bandages.
That hurts.
Oof.
This changes a lot.
So much. Oh no. You know, like, okay, so Lennox normally starts in factory now.
Yeah.
We're no longer starting in factory now.
7 ramens in factory. They removed the ramens from Alley.
Yeah, that's the second biggest change.
That's
the second biggest change. You can't build a garlic ramen in factory anymore. Or sorry,
the only thing
Alley. Yeah.
The only thing I'm thinking about is like, what? Regen, please, no. Regen, they gutted Regen. Regen's gone. Yeah. It's dead.
Bury it.
It's dead.
Yeah, this unironically, I feel like changes more about the patch than like anything we've seen so far.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Food is like one of the most important aspects of this game.
Yeah, it hurts. Dude, potato bread. Potato bread. Don't build
You
that
know, I'm
shit.
actually super
Food
fine.
crafting,
Do
yeah.
you want to know why I'm fine with factory losing bandage? Because dock and hospital, which are on each sides of it, also have bandages.
Also, yeah, I
And
get
the
that.
only other place to find it was school.
Well, I mean, they don't spread out items typically like very well. Like, think about it. With like carbonated water, they're all found in the same area. The freaking batteries all found like nearby each other. Besides,
Avenue,
the
yeah.
black sheep, yeah, avenue.
But yeah, this is everyone's gonna have to look at their builds now after this. My gut reaction, without overthinking it, is this makes EOD routes from archery into alley possible. I could be wrong, because if you skip school, you generally can't build EOD on that side of the map. But having
Yeah.
bandages in alley, again, I'd have to look at it, but I think this makes new EOD routes.
You want
Doesn't school already have bandages?
They do, yeah, but if you don't need anything else from school, like if you're like, here's my gut reaction is I don't know what Hejin is missing with her normal 4 route build. If she skips Cabana, what she needs for EOD, I think it's just scrap metal.
Well, what sucks the most is that you have bandages already in school, and you're putting bandages in alley. You're literally kind of limiting it to kind of that area on the left side.
Also, I don't know what this changes for Statue of Sotera. Like,
I guess just scrap metal and branches for EOD, by the way.
yeah, and then Windbreaker too. But yeah, we'll,
Yeah. Oh
we'll
yeah, Runbreaker. Yeah.
This makes me real sad.
yeah, this is the bandage change is one of the biggest. The bandage and the food changes are probably the biggest changes you'll see consistently across the patch because it affects multiple characters, kind of thing. All right, I love this change. I've gone over some of these numbers. So Nadine Bow does 2% more damage in duos. Crossbow does less damage. Crossbow Nadine has been super popular, so
Yeah, and I've noticed that too in squads especially.
yeah, they buffed it by 1% in duo, but they nerfed it by 3% in squad. Rio, her bow in squads has been gone down by 3%. Understandable considering she is the only. Is there another hyper carry in the game besides Rio? Like Nadine used to be it, but like her stat counts got nerfed.
Would you count like AR, Aya?
Yeah, I guess yeah. No, I would count
Would
them.
you count Heart then? I guess, right?
I would say I think so. Yeah, I would say all the Enad carries. So Heart, Aya, and Isol are technically hyper carries, but they're just not very good right now. But yeah, I would classify them as hyper carries.
Right, I would agree with that.
I guess I would technically classify Nadine as a hyper carry too. I just don't think any of them touch Rio.
I think technically Bernice should be, but he's just super strong early mid. His late game's not as strong as Rio's at all.
Alright, Magnus losing some damage in duo and squad. Jukai losing some damage in squad and then taking more damage in squad. I don't know why he took reduced damage in squad, but put the shit at 100%.
Yeah.
Dagger is also the same. It's closer to 100% damage taken. Shoichi, let's go! I didn't even see this the first time I went through it. It's doing 2% more damage in squad. Let's go! I'm excited. Sacella's Shuriken. So Sacella's back up to taking full damage in squad. I don't know why she also took reduced damage. What is it with like the best characters in the game? Why were they not taking full damage? Whatever. And then Jake, I'll let you cover this one as our resident Sylvia player.
Woot woot.
Woot woot.
Everybody put your hands in the air. We're getting 5% extra damage dealt in duos, and we're also getting 4% extra damage in squads. We're up to 92 and 90%, which honestly I'm pretty sure is the highest I've ever seen it.
Yeah, ever.
And it's gone up before in previous patches, and it's gone. And when I first started, it was continuously going down, down, down. At one point in the darkest days, I'm pretty sure it was at 82% in squads.
Yeah. So I think this change could have been made as soon as they changed Devil's Marksman.
Yeah.
Alright, Adriana nerf in duos.
Please stop touching Adriana.
Adriana nerf in
Please.
squad. Alright, Adriana might be the lowest squad's damage dealer in the game now. She's dropped below 80%. We've done it. We've seen it happen now.
Literally, she does no damage. Does absolutely no damage.
She can engage from a mile away. She could disengage.
Leave her alone.
She has so much utility.
Leave her alone.
So yeah, they're speaking of Aya that you mentioned. Looks like Aya's damage is up in squads and duos by 3% on both, and it looks like it's actually the same for ISIL. Oh wait, I didn't know this. Wait, so even if you build the same damage on ISIL and Aya actually does more damage. It's just ISIL brings the root and the camouflage. Okay, that's cool. I didn't know that. Alex does 2% more damage in both duos and squads. William.
See, that new Tonfa's looking kind of thick for Alex. I'm just saying. We might be seeing some Tonfa.
So William Nurse, I will say, I feel like when I see players who play William, they actually do pretty good damage. So, considering none of us play William, I'm not even heartbroken to see this. Considering none of us play William, but I will say this probably didn't need to happen. Like honestly, do you guys think William needed a duo and squad damage nerf?
No, not really. But I mean, hey, it is what it is. Well, I think because also like in solos, especially like, I feel like in duos and squads, I feel like he would perform better. Like this is in my head. Like in my head, duos and squads, he would perform better because he doesn't have the what is the word? Movement.
Frontline. Oh.
He doesn't have the movement. He doesn't have like the escape, right? He can't rat away. Like so in a squad format, he actually works really well. So I can see why they are nerfing his damage in duos and squads because he does work really well in a team format.
All right, and then Ava's losing 2% damage in duo squad. Axe Jackie
The
losing.
Christian's happy about the William change, by the way.
Oh, probably.
Just want to throw that one out there.
Yeah. Duos and squads, Jackie's doing 2% less damage with her axe. Rapier Fiora is doing 1% more damage in squad and 1% less damage in duo. Woo woo. Game changer.
Gang gang.
Alright, and then Kiara's rapier damage in squads is down 3%. Which, considering they put 3 extra damage on Voltacleto, this is probably still a net nerf on Kiara in squads.
I think honestly, it's a net neutral. You got 3%. You got 3 attack power, minus 3% on Kiara. It's a no-brainer. I know the math doesn't work that way, but it's hilarious.
All right, and then let's see. Apparently, knockback skills are putting people through walls. I didn't even notice. Wickeline can no longer talk while dead. Replay system improvements.
Are you saying better content? Let's go. I'm all for it. Let's read. Can we read the Razi ones? I can't read them. They're too small for me.
Yeah, sorry. Using last word or double tap with dual wield passive now correctly applies stack when hitting enemy attached.
I was noticing that, dude. I was noticing that. Cause like I was like, dude, why are my bombs not exploding? They're just sitting on them, and I'm like, actually hitting them with so many abilities, and it's auto attacks.
Oh, I never noticed. Okay, well, I guess that's a sick change. This also means I believe the grenade's going to do more damage, because if you're stacking it up, right?
Yeah.
A rare issue where coup de grace's second hit would not proc after being hit by the first is now fixed. Okay. So apparently,
Not sure. I've
apparently
never
the true
seen
damage, yeah. I was going to say, I didn't see it happen, but apparently, I guess the true damage wouldn't go off sometimes for the part 2.
Imagine playing Yuki, coup de grace, you stand there, you take a bunch of damage to the face because you're Yuki and coup de grace, and then your true damage doesn't go off. You're just left there crying. I would be so angry.
All right.
Would you be sad?
That is the patch. I would say this is actually pretty much maybe not a small patch, but I would say this is nothing really changed in this patch that was super important. We had, I guess I'll go to the quick view. I know we had, the first thing that comes to mind is Devil's Marksman and Bandage change. So Devil's Marksman changed, huge. I guess we got 2 new items. This is one of those things where you have to see how it is in the game. And yeah, then the bandage change, and then other than that, I don't think anything really game changing happened actually. Nothing is like, oh my god, I want to play this character now. I guess Dylan. What do you guys think about the patch? What is like the standouts?
New character for sure. I think Jenny's
New
big standout,
routes.
obviously.
The bandages. No one said anything about bandages. Hello?
Right? He just said that.
No, I know he did, but I'm just saying that Nimble Neuron didn't say anything about bandages. I feel like that was super important.
Okay, well.
Oh,
you
you're
know,
talking. I think she's talking about like in the quick look. This new.
Yeah. I see. I see.
It should be like adjusted. It should just be a giant picture of a bandage over here.
Yeah, just a giant bandage. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't ready.
A giant bandage, and then next to it, an Adriana with like an ouchie face.
And it should be like a piece of curry with like a red X through it.
They literally ripped the band-aid from us before we were ready. That's what happened.
They just ripped the band-aid off.
Yeah.
They ripped the bandage off before you were ready.
Yeah, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for this. They just did this to us.
Alright, standout things that I'm excited for, that I'm personally ready to try out. Jenny for sure. We got Sylvia buffs in squads and duos, and also Devil's Marksman pistol. And then the third thing I'm excited to try out would be Bernice's new weapon, the Blackfire Cannon. Now that it has like a ridiculous amount of damage. Those are the let's see. Oh, and dual sword skill. Dual sword skill looks interesting once you get level 2 weapon skill.